Well, there are a lot of new updates in the federal sex trafficking case against rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
He scored his first legal win after a judge ordered prosecutors not to destroy notes from a jailhouse raid. Mary David is a former prosecutor. She's here now to break down the latest developments in the case. Thanks for being with us. Good morning.
Good morning. So good to be with you both.
So let's start with that raid on Diddy's jail cell. Prosecutors confiscated 19 pages of his handwritten notes. They wanted to use them to prove that he was trying to influence witness testimony. Talk about the defense's argument here and why the judge ultimately decided that way.
The defense is arguing that seizing these notes was in violation of Diddy's due process, but inmates have different Fourth Amendment privacy protections, and that has to be weighed against public safety. Where here, the MDC has been rife with issues when it comes to safety, smuggling of drugs, weapons, so it makes sense that it was under scrutiny, and this raid is not unusual to have happened given that. The other argument that defense raised was attorney-client privilege, but the issue with that is there is an exception, a crime fraud exception, if the material is in furtherance of a crime, so it wouldn't be protected.
So we don't know what this material says, what the notes said?
There is some information about their paying off of witnesses, and that's really what prosecutors are seizing in on to indicate that this is obstruction of justice, this is witness tampering, you cannot let Diddy out on bail, and that's really their strongest argument.
And I've seen some reporting that it was basically talking about birthday and goals and things that seem innocuous, but can you explain how this evidence could be beneficial to the prosecution and even victims later on?
The way that it could actually be beneficial to prosecutors is the fact that if this evidence is deemed admissible and they actually secure a conviction, if the defense files a motion to appeal this resolution, then they actually could have delayed justice for victims, because if that motion is granted, it could lead to a retrial, and then that just prolongs the whole process. But I do want to point out that just because these documents were seized in order to be deleted, this is just a stopgap measure until the courts make a final ruling on whether or not they actually are going to be admissible.
And another part of that was they said that he was calling his family members, encouraging them to post social media posts, influencing the public. Don't the prosecutors have bigger things to worry about and more evidence to actually prosecute sex crimes than going after whether he told his family to post positive social media posts?
They do, and that's why I don't think they're really going to be hanging their hat on this either way. It's more that they are just following protocol, and Diddy's defense counsel, they are going to seize anything that they can because these are really bad facts. They're really just going after whatever they can to make this beneficial for Diddy.
So obviously this case is ongoing. It's massive. Do we expect any other federal indictments with more charges?
The question isn't if there will be a superseding indictment. The question is really when. There are so many more charges that are likely going to be added. This is pretty standard as far as RICO goes, where you start out with an initial indictment, pretty bare bones, and then your investigation is still ongoing. So we know that a grand jury is already meeting, and so it really just comes down to when that will happen. It will likely be a bit closer to trial, and there will be a lot more to come out.
Yeah, and we know there's another bail hearing tomorrow. What do we expect?
There will definitely be arguments from defense counsel arguing that he should be let out because of these violations of his due process, but that really isn't the appropriate legal remedy. What would make most sense is for that information to be excluded. The prosecutors are going to argue that this is really signs of how much witness tampering there is happening now when there is secure measures in place for Diddy. So it's only going to be worse if he is out on bail. The fact that he is willing to put forward $50 million and secure his own conditions, I think that really just speaks to he doesn't like being in jail. And so the fact that this is the third time that it's coming up is really just speaking to how uncomfortable he is. But inmates are inmates. They don't get special treatment just because they're celebrities.
Yeah, I think it would be hard for all of us, but when you're coming from that high up and having that big of a fall, it's got to be a total culture shock for him.
Before we let you go, is there any possibility that prosecutors throwing the book at him in every possible way they can could backfire later, for the record?
Well, I think that really this is only going to be beneficial in terms of victims having their voices raised. And again, there is so much more that still hasn't been uncovered. So I really think that they are going to go out with their strongest case. Remember, the conviction rate for federal investigations and prosecutions is 97%.
Wow. All right, Mary David, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.